J-Bone! 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 For now. L-Bone here, and I've got everything you need to know before you watch this weekend's 2025 British Grand Prix, including a brief recap of this past weekend's Austrian Grand Prix, which is where we're going to kick things off right now. L-Bone! Oh my god! First and foremost, here's why my name just changed from J-Bone to L-Bone, at least for now. In case you aren't already aware, I make 3 predictions ahead of every single F1 race, and entering the Austrian Grand Prix, I was at 13 for 30, aka 43% on the season with my Grand Prix predictions. I had to go at least 2 for 3 with my Austria predictions to avoid entering the second half of the F1 season below 50%, and if I couldn't, it meant I would have to settle up on a bet and change my name from J-Bone to L-Bone on account of how many L's that means I've taken. Yeah, I think you see where I'm going here. Here's how my Austrian Grand Prix predictions ended up. My first Austrian Grand Prix prediction was that Max Verstappen would finish on the podium in Austria, and he did not, as he got absolutely yeeted out of the race by Kimi Antonelli on lap 1. To make matters worse, he probably was not going to finish on the podium even if he had been able to take the checkered flag, as he only managed to qualify P7. My second prediction was that Haas would finish in the points in Austria, and ding ding, J-Bone got that one right, as Esteban Ocon managed to finish P10, but it does not matter, because my third prediction was that Alex Albon would finish in the points in Austria, and he retired from his third race in a row on lap 15 to condemn me to being named L-Bone for the foreseeable future. Yes, L-Bone was already confirmed by lap 15 of the 70-lap Austrian Grand Prix. Just a truly, truly embarrassing showing that is honestly completely fitting of a guy now named L-Bone. But all hope is not lost, folks. All it takes for my name to go back to J-Bone is me getting back to at least 50% on the season with my predictions, which I could do as early as the Belgian Grand Prix in 2 races' time. Unfortunately, though, the Belgian Grand Prix is not for like a month, so I'll be L-Bone for like a month. Do you think my name will get back to being J-Bone before the end of the season? Let me know in the comments. L-Bone. Also, if you can't tell, I am currently in the process of building out a new permanent Formula Bone set, and I need your help. Give me some ideas for how to decorate it and set it up in the comments. As you can tell, it's very bare bones right now, and I want to hear what you all have to say so that I know what I should do. Next up, here are the biggest results from the 2025 F1 Austrian Grand Prix. McLaren's Lando Norris took P1 and was able to hold off his surging McLaren teammate and championship rival Oscar Piastri in P2 thanks to a mistake from Oscar that flat-spotted Oscar's tires, some traffic, and of course some help from Alpine, who Oscar hilariously noted are still continuing to mess with him all these years later. Rounding out the podium in P3 was Ferrari driver Charles Leclerc, who, yes, did in fact finish on the podium, despite how literally nobody seemed to care because everyone was too focused on the McLarens and Max's retirement. Max's retirement from the race, not F1, of course. The retirement from F1 is not till next year. P4 went to Leclerc's Ferrari teammate Lewis Hamilton to tie Hamilton's best Grand Prix result of the season thus far, as well as bump Ferrari ahead of Mercedes into P2 in the World Constructors' Championship, well behind championship leaders McLaren, but still, they're in P2, that's something. A distant P5 went to Mercedes' George Russell, who was not able to make it back-to-back race wins and Austrian Grand Prix wins, but who still was able to nab his 9th Grand Prix top 5 of 2025, Mr. Consistency, baby. P6 went to V-Carb rookie Liam Lawson out of nowhere to give Lawson his 2nd points finish of the season and best finish of his career after he was able to convert a stellar P6 in qualifying into the same Grand Prix result, while also avoiding getting lapped, unlike everyone who finished behind him. P7 went to Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso to make it 3 points finishes in a row for Alonso after he started the season off without a single points finish through the first 8 race weekends. That was crazy. P8 awesomely went to Sauber rookie Gabby Bortoleto, who had his maiden Q3 appearance on Saturday and his maiden points finish on Sunday that led to him taking Driver of the Day honors in Spielberg. P9 also went to a Sauber driver, Nico Hülkenberg, who drove an absolutely incredible race where he started the race in last place, P20, and somehow managed to finish P9 to make it 3 points finishes in a row for Hülkenberg. Man, that Sauber car is looking impressive after those upgrades. Jonathan Wheatley I don't know what you're doing there at Sauber, but you are the new Andrea Stella, and it's amazing to watch. Rounding out the points, you had Esteban Ocon in P10, who drove a great race to get there from P17 on the starting grid. In terms of results, you should know from the non-points finishers, Kimi Antonelli crashed himself and Max Verstappen out of the race on lap 1, which has led to Kimi carrying a grid penalty into Silverstone. Both Williams cars retired due to mechanical issues, and Yuki Tsunoda provided further evidence for the second Red Bull seat being cursed with shocking qualifying and Grand Prix performances after what were fine practice sessions. Real quick before I move on, it would be awesome if you could toss this video a like, because I'm trying to hit 4,000 likes on it so that YouTube likes me, L-Bone, more, and shows my race previews and recaps to more people. YouTube kind of decides that. They own the algorithm, so if you like it, the algorithm likes me. It's a whole big thing. It is 100% free to like this video, and it truly does help me out in a big way, so thank you for your consideration. L-Bone. Next up, here's how L-Bone's F1 Rookie of the Year race is looking after the Austrian Grand Prix weekend. As a reminder, I'm judging the F1 rookies all season long based on their performances relative to their cars, not just points scored. After each race, I award my last place rookie 0 points and my first place rookie 5 points, and the winner of L-Bone's F1 Rookie of the Year race will be the rookie with the most points come the end of the season. Here's how my 2025 rookie standings looked entering the Austrian Grand Prix, and here are my Austrian Grand Prix rookie rankings. In last place, it's Mercedes rookie Kimi Antonelli, who only managed to qualify P9 and then made a major misjudgment on lap 1 of the Grand Prix that led to him crashing into Max Verstappen. This ended both drivers' races, and to make matters worse, resulted in Kimi carrying a grid penalty into Silverstone. In 5th place, it's Alpine rookie Franco Colapinto, who had an awful race that resulted in him receiving a 5-second penalty for forcing a driver off track, and, to make matters worse, the penalty occurred while he was being lapped and shown the blue flags. Embarrassing. In 4th place, it's V-Carb rookie Isaac Hadjar, who just had a nothing burger weekend where he never looked on to finish in the points. In 3rd place, give me Haas rookie Ollie Behrman, who managed to make Q2 unlike his Haas teammate Ocon, before barely missing out on a points finish by finishing P11 just behind his Haas teammate Ocon. He didn't do great, okay, but he did better than the people behind him. In 2nd place, I have V-Carb rookie Liam Lawson, who finished an incredible P6 from P6 on the starting grid in what was the best ever Grand Prix weekend for the Red Bull Demo T. I almost had Lawson in 1st place, okay, almost, it was very close, but instead, 1st place is going to Sauber rookie Gabby Bortoletto, who not only had his first ever Q3 appearance in Austria, but also his first F1 points finish. I gave Gabby the nod over Liam because honestly, Liam just has more experience, so I thought it was kind of cool that Gabby did all these firsts. Liam's been around the block. Gabby's, you get the point. So here are the updated L-Bone's F1 Rookie of the Year race standings after Austria. Let me know your thoughts on them in the comments. Alright, enough about Austria and me becoming L-Bone. It is time to look ahead and talk about this weekend's British Grand Prix that always seems to be one of the best races of the season every single year. But first, if you're running a business, every missed call is money left on the table. Think about the last time you had a plumbing emergency. If the first plumber didn't answer, did you wait or call the next plumber? Chances are you moved on. With OpenPhone, you'll never miss an opportunity to connect with your customers. OpenPhone is the #1 business phone system that streamlines and scales your customer communications. It works through an app on your phone or computer, so no more carrying 2 phones or using a landline. With OpenPhone, your team can share one number and collaborate on customer calls and texts like a shared inbox. That way, any teammate can pick up right where the last person left off, keeping response times faster than ever. As someone who's worked numerous jobs where customer experience is of the utmost importance, I can vouch for how important a service like OpenPhone is. OpenPhone is offering my listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/bone, all lowercase. That's openphone.com/bone, all lowercase. And if you have existing numbers with another service, OpenPhone will port them over at no extra charge. OpenPhone, no missed calls, no missed customers. The 2025 Formula One British Grand Prix takes place this weekend at the Silverstone Circuit in Silverstone, West Northamptonshire, East Midlands, England, United Kingdom, British Isles, Europe, Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Linear Supercluster, Universe, Multiverse, Simulation. God, that was a long one. The British Grand Prix weekend starts this Friday, July 4th, which will not distract us Americans from remembering that day as the day we owned the British. And it will also consist of free practices 1 and 2 for the British Grand Prix. Saturday, July 5th will consist of free practice 3 and qualifying, and Sunday, July 6th will consist of the 80th ever running of the British Grand Prix and the 75th running of the British Grand Prix as part of the Formula One World Championship. My favorite Formula One race is the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, and here's why. First, because the British Grand Prix at Silverstone is literally the original Formula One race. The Formula One World Championship began in 1950, and what was the first race? Yep, the 1950 British Grand Prix at Silverstone, won from pole position by eventual 1950 World Drivers' Champion Nino Farina of Alfa Romeo. Fun fact, Farina's average speed in the race was 146 kilometers an hour, or 91 miles per hour. Nowadays, the average speed is closer to 233 kilometers an hour, or 145 miles per hour. As an F1 history buff, the fact that the British Grand Prix at Silverstone was Formula One's first race makes it just hold a special place in my heart. Second, the British Grand Prix at Silverstone is my favorite F1 race because, for better or for worse, it just seems to have a knack for always providing us with incredible moments of high drama. Just look at the last 4 editions. Last season, we got one of the most emotional race wins of all time. I cried. Where at his home race, Lewis Hamilton snapped a 945-day, 56-race winless streak to stand atop the podium for the first time since before the events of Abu Dhabi 2021. In 2023, we saw Lando Norris in that sick chrome McLaren livery overtake Max off the line to take the lead at his and McLaren's home race. While Max would go on to win, Lando's P2 paired with Piastri's P4 set the stage for where McLaren are now, and I consider the 2023 British Grand Prix the beginning of McLaren's current run of form that led to them winning the Constructors' Championship last season and, inevitably, this season as well. In 2022, we saw not only the craziest F1 crash since Romain Grosjean's 2020 Phoenix incident when Zhou Guanyu skidded upside down and flipped into a catch fence at race start, but also we got Crofty's iconic "Through goes Hamilton" call and Carlos Sainz's maiden F1 victory. And in 2021, we of course got inarguably the most iconic crash in modern F1 history, where in the middle of their legendary title fight, Lewis Hamilton crashed Max Verstappen out of the race, the steward's words, not mine. Which brings me to my third reason why the British Grand Prix at Silverstone is my favorite F1 race, because the first ever Formula Bone video was me, L-Bone, J-Bone at the time, breaking down that 2021 Max and Lewis crash. I had no clue at the time that that video would lead me to a career covering Formula One full-time, but I do know now that that is exactly what happened somehow, which is just another reason why the British Grand Prix at Silverstone is my favorite F1 race. But I want to know, what is your favorite F1 race? Let me know in the comments. The F1 British Grand Prix's Silverstone circuit is 5.891 kilometers or 3.66 miles in length, and the British Grand Prix will be contested over the course of 52 laps around its 18 turns. Silverstone circuit is built on the site of what used to be RAF Silverstone, a Royal Air Force bomber station that operated during and just after World War II, and the racetrack incorporates much of what used to be the airstrips and perimeter road from RAF Silverstone. If you look at Silverstone from above, you can actually still make out 2 of the 3 original airstrips. Every turn and straight at the Silverstone circuit has a name, but only one of those names is in honor of a past or present driver, the Hamilton Straight, which is the pit straight, and it was named in honor of, obviously, Sir Lewis Hamilton, after Lewis secured his 7th World Drivers' Championship in 2020. The circuit features 2 DRS zones, but neither of them is on the pit straight, a unique feature that is shared only by Abu Dhabi's Yas Marina circuit and the Las Vegas Strip circuit. Silverstone's Sector 2 is far and away the most famous of its 3 sectors, and it's maybe the most famous sector in all of Formula One. Sector 2 spans from the end of the Wellington Straight just before Turn 6 Brooklands all the way past Turn 14 Chapel. Now this sector is so famous because it includes all of Silverstone's most famous, legendary high-speed corners, Copse, Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel. Next up, here are the F1 storylines you need to be following for this weekend's 2025 British Grand Prix. Your first storyline, the 2025 World Drivers' Championship title fight is officially back on. For the first time this season, McLaren's Lando Norris has more race wins than his teammate Oscar Piastri over a 4-race span. This, plus consistently solid results from Lando all season long, even when Oscar was winning races, means Lando only trails Oscar by 15 points in the World Drivers' Championship. It's truly anybody's game, well, anybody on McLaren's game now that Max kind of is out of it after that DNF, and we look very on to get a World Drivers' Championship title fight between the 2 papaya drivers that could come all the way down to the season finale in Abu Dhabi, with each race along the way being highly entertaining as the 2 drivers jockey for position atop the standings. Your second storyline, are Ferrari back? Nobody's really talking about it for some reason, but Ferrari just overtook Mercedes for P2 in the World Constructors' Championship, thanks to them finishing P3 and P4 in Austria, and Mercedes finishing P5 and not finishing. Ferrari are absolutely cooking after a terrible start to the season, and if this trend continues and Lewis Hamilton gets settled in, I could easily see the prancing horses winning multiple races this season. Your third storyline, are Red Bull cooked? I never thought I'd say this, but over the last 3 Grand Prix, Red Bull Racing have scored fewer points than Sauber. I hate to say it, Red Bull fans, but you're essentially a one-car, one-driver team, and that's no way to fight for championships. Your fourth storyline, what the heck is going on with Williams Racing? Williams started the season off averaging over 7 points per race weekend for the first 7 race weekends, yet over the last 4 race weekends, they're averaging an abysmal 1 point per race weekend. So, big brain James Vowles and the gang need to figure out the car fast if Williams want to remain P5 in the Constructors' Championship. And your final storyline, how will all the British drivers do at their home race? Lando Norris, Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, and Oliver Bearman will all have massive support, as well as massive weight on their shoulders this weekend, and I can't wait to see who rises to the occasion and who doesn't. I am confident Bearman will because, of course, I have Haas delusion syndrome. Haas! Next up, here are L-Bone's F1 British Grand picks, brought to you by Grid Rivals Picks Game. Grid Rivals Picks Game gives race fans like you and me the chance to turn our F1 knowledge into money simply by making correct race predictions on the Grid Rival app. And here are my Grid Rival picks for this weekend's British Grand Prix that I'm hoping to turn into some dough. My first British Grand pick is Max Verstappen to finish worse than P3. Not only has Max been off the podium in 3 of the last 4 races, but I also think McLaren and Mercedes are going to show up to Silverstone with more competitive cars than Red Bull given recent history. My second pick is George Russell to finish better than P4. See the thing I just said. Mercedes plus Silverstone equals fast. Even when they had that absolutely awful side podless car that did not in fact give them an advantage locked in for years, they were still good there. My third pick is Lance Stroll to finish P15 or better. This line is absurd, okay? Lance finished P7 at Silverstone last year, even beating his teammate Fernando Alonso. And my final pick is Ollie Bearman to finish P14 or better. It's the dude's first home race, and he's driving for a team that finished P6 at Silverstone last season. No shot Bearman finishes lower than P14, right? Right? Haas delusion syndrome, right? If all 4 of these hit, I'll be turning $10 into $100, and whether you want to follow my Grid Rival British Grand picks, do the exact opposite of them because you think I'm wrong, or make your own entirely different picks, you can get a $100 deposit match when you use my code BONE on the Grid Rival app, which you can download through the unique download link in the description now. Terms and conditions and age and location restrictions apply, and lines may have changed since this recording. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Here are my 3 bona fide race predictions for the 2025 F1 British Grand Prix. I'm currently sitting at 14 for 33, aka 42% on the season, which is very bad and has resulted in my name changing from J-Bone to L-Bone until I'm back at or above 50%, which I cannot be until at least the Belgian Grand Prix at the earliest, which is in like a month. Yay. But I'm going to go 3 for 3 here with my British Grand Prix predictions, so at least I can get started on the path back to J-Bone. L-Bone. My first race prediction is that McLaren's Lando Norris will win the British Grand Prix. I know. Cue the L-Bone just jinxed Lando comments, but hear me out. Lando has won 2 of the last 4 Grand Prix and showed a huge amount of mental toughness by coming back from his Canada crash to win in Austria. And when you pair that with the fact that Lando has podiumed the previous 2 years in Silverstone in worse cars relative to the field than he has now when Oscar couldn't, I think Lando pulls off the dub at his home race. My second race prediction is that 2 British drivers will finish on the British Grand Prix podium. You already know I think Lando wins the British Grand Prix, and with the track records of Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton at Silverstone, I think there's a great chance that George Russell and or Lewis Hamilton join him there on the podium. And hey, you never know. Maybe, Oliver Bearman does something crazy and is the one who makes this prediction hit. Sorry. The Haas delusion syndrome took over for a second there. That's probably not going to happen, but it might. My third race prediction is that Ferrari's Lewis Hamilton will finish ahead of his teammate Charles Leclerc for just the 2nd Grand Prix this season. Charles Leclerc has been absolutely dominating Lewis Hamilton this season, but with how well Lewis always performs at his home race and how he is the reigning British Grand Prix champ, I think Lewis manages to beat Charles Leclerc to the finish line for just the 2nd Grand Prix in 2025. And last but not least, here's my prediction for the top 5 finishers in the 2025 British Grand Prix with zero reasoning nor explanation. P5, Lewis Hamilton. P4, Max Verstappen. P3, George Russell. P2, Oscar Piastri. And P1, Lando Norris. Now for the most important part of this video, what are your predictions for the 2025 British Grand Prix? Let me, L-Bone, see them in the comments. Toss me a subscription now and ring that notification bell so that you'll get my British Grand Prix recap video next week right when it drops. And while you're doing that, do not forget to like this video so that YouTube likes J-Bone more. Special shout out to my top YouTube channel members, Joe Max's Number One Hater Snow, Brian Linton, Wolfslows Racing, Waffleopicus, Melissa Cruz, Elmar Zuber, The Tater, and David Hake. Mash that join button just below this video to get your name shouted out right here in future videos. And if you want to join 1,000 plus F1 fans in the free to join Formula Bone Discord, you can go do that through the join link in the description. Until next time, folks, L-Bone! J-Bone!